Hi and welcome to Crosstalk SF. I'm your host, Christina Marie. Today we're going to be discussing romance and sex in relationships. We're going to be talking about everything from aphrodisiacs to erotic power play. Let me introduce my guest. Here on my right, from Joy of Romance, Joy Nordenstrom. Hi, Joy.
Hi, Christina.
Welcome to the show.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Excellent. Very good. And on my left, from Lifestyle Education, Dr. Gabriele Hoff. Hello, Dr. Hoff.
Hi, Christina.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Very good. Well, I have here a love coach. I have a relationship counselor. Why do we need all this help nowadays? I mean, let's start with you, Joy. Why do couples need relationship, romance, and love coaches?
I think it starts with the fact that we have a 50% divorce rate, so obviously we have a little bit to learn in that area. As I had mentioned before, it goes up to 75% if you get remarried within 2 years of a divorce. So we just don't have great role models when it comes to having passionate, thriving relationships. And we spend a lot of time on our career and just about anything else under the sun except for learning how to create a wonderful, thriving relationship.
That's right. I really wonder how many people do set aside time to really work on their relationships and romance.
Maintenance is so important. I don't call it work. You don't have to work on it, but doing the maintenance, making the maintenance fun and passionate and sexy, that's what it's about.
And Dr. Gabriele, you help coach with play and adventuring ideas in the relationship. Why do people need that? What is about modern relationships that they need you?
Well, as time has progressed, more options have opened regarding sexuality. In the old days, it was mostly procreating, and that was what sexuality was about. But nowadays, people use sexuality for many recreational purposes and relationship strengthening. And the mass media has introduced many new aspects. I'm dealing with erotic power play, and I have a lot of video clips on YouTube talking about different aspects such as role play, cross-dressing, fetish play. People have learned about new aspects that weren't available to them before, and often one partner wants to try it and the other one isn't certain, and then they come to me and I try to find out what's going on and help them to get started.
So is this something that modern day has invented more of these different choices, or is this something that has been kept very quiet in the closet, so to speak, and then just recently now because of YouTube and more exposure to it, people are coming out?
A little bit of both. I think that sexuality was much more oppressed before, and it is still in many countries and areas, but the BDSM and power play was going on cross-culturally and cross-historically. It is happening more now, and it is becoming more of a topic of conversation, a little bit less judged upon. And people discover it easier since they can go on YouTube or on the internet, or read more books about it, and then they want to try things. In the old days, I think the advanced human sexuality, the explorations of certain aspects, was more limited to the ruling classes, the kings and nobility. They had options of exploring it. The ordinary folks were mostly just working very hard and making offsprings.
And now anyone that gets on Craigslist has able to be finding all these things, interesting things on Craigslist. Let's talk a little bit about men and women and their roles in a relationship and how that has changed from, let's say, the 50s, 60s, mom is cooking, dad goes out and the breadwinner, he comes home, and now to where many women actually make more than the men that they date. And the masculine and feminine, how you play with that as well, Dr. Hoff.
There is a lot of freedom nowadays for men to explore a bit more of a feminine side and a nurturing side, all the way to cross-dressing, if the partner is okay for that. For women, we have permission to travel around on our own in our world, and that also translates into sexuality. I have a lot of clients, women who want to learn more about being a little more assertive, a little more dominant in their sexuality, in their sexual relationships. And men often find themselves dreaming and fantasizing about being more submissive, more passive, wanting to please a woman all the way to wanting to be a slave, a play slave, not a real historical slave. We don't talk about that. So I think that there are many options, and everybody has to explore what they really mean to them, these options, who they really are. And there is no given rule of what a man should be, what a woman should be. And there's a lot of confusion going on, and also a lot of misunderstandings between men and women. Almost a war between the sexes sometimes going on, which I find very unfortunate. But perhaps it's something we have to get through to get to the other end of where everybody can be themselves and communicate about it.
I think a key ingredient for both, I'm hearing from both of you, is to know what you want, be clear about what you want, and if you want to request it from your partner, and really be open in your relationship. Something that you had said with women wanting to be more dominant. There is a goddess movement, a female empowerment movement. How is female empowerment different than women's lib?
The goddess movement, as I see it, Mama Gina has written a number of books, and it's really about totally enveloping your female side and letting men be the man, letting them open the door, letting them rise to the occasion to be a gentleman. I always say, if you call them a gentleman and you raise the bar to that level, very often they will become gentlemen, even if they weren't before.
Oh, that's good. Wait a minute. Could you say that one more time? Anybody's listening, that would be very good. So you just assume that they are gentlemen and treat them as if they're going to treat you like a gentleman, and they will follow in suit.
Very much. Yeah, very often it happens.
Now, do you find a lot of people do have a difficult time to let a man open a door for them, or, you know, assist them by putting on their jacket for them, or things like that? I find a lot of women, at least friends I know, it's like, I can do that myself. I don't want to look weak. I think that they don't understand that there is a strength in being female and knowing that it is their pleasure to open the door for you and allowing them to be men and do that. Is that, am I saying something wrong in that?
No, I'm going to take it to an example. When I teach classes, very often I will say to the women, on the first 3 dates, let the gentleman pay for the meal. It's establishing a certain amount of rapport that he has the pleasure of having this meal with you. And a lot of women, 20s, 30s, feel obligated that if he's paid for a meal, they have to return maybe a sexual favor. And so I really explain to them that it was the gentleman's pleasure to have you as their company, be fully present, be really connecting with that person, enjoy your time together, but don't feel obligated. Play, you know, let him be the gentleman, let him rise to the occasion and pay the bill.
Wonderful. And now you've written many things about the goddess movement, or a goddess, so what is your opinion on this?
Well, my girlfriends and I, we call each other goddesses. It's a bit tongue-in-cheek, but it is also reminding ourselves and each other that we are the empowered feminine, which is, we expect to be treated with respect, and it's a self-esteem thing. That women often struggle with self-esteem. It's something we have to come to terms with, and to slowly have it sink in that we are goddesses is very helpful. Now, there are a lot of other very useful tools. Coaching could help with self-esteem, counseling, therapy, workshops. There are many opportunities of doing that, but I think it's very important for women to get good self-esteem and not to feel obligated because a man invites them for a nice dinner that they are worried now, oh my God, what am I supposed to do now? Nothing. You know, just be yourself and enjoy yourself and do what feels right to you. Women and self-esteem is a big topic.